So welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Thank you for attending this month's CDSS Exchange Speaker Series event. The CDSS Exchange, for those of you who aren't aware, may not be aware yet, is a monthly series where we want to really promote awareness of what's going on here in the department among various divisions and programs, seeing what's worked and really sharing those stories to really promote awareness and enthusiasm throughout the department. For the past 14 years, I believe, SafeMeasures has been improving outcomes through their really special approach to business intelligence. And we're delighted to have Ryan with us today. And please give him a warm welcome.
Thank you. Again, my name is Ryan Kielczewski. I work for NCCD, and within NCCD, my team is SafeMeasures. I'm a policy and reporting analyst. I'm the lead analyst for California. So any problems or concerns or questions people have regarding SafeMeasures, those questions go to me, and I tend to work with all counties, work within all counties in SafeMeasures and with CDSS as well. So we'll move forward. I'm going to give a quick intro of SafeMeasures. We're going to go through basic navigation, and we're going to explore some of the reports and tools that I find most useful within SafeMeasures. So NCCD has over 10 jurisdictions, as well as California was kind of our first jurisdiction that we worked with, and there are quite a lot of reports, for over 300 reports for California. So we're going to work within a demo site today because of the data that is not, presentable within those that don't have access to SafeMeasures. We're going to work quickly through this PowerPoint and get into navigating as fast as possible. But I want to give everyone a quick demonstration of how SafeMeasures works and how we receive the data from CWS CMS. So how SafeMeasures starts with the agencies serving their clients. Workers go out into the field and collect data from the children, and they document that data into CWS CMS. Every night, that data is sent to NCCD, where we analyze the data and we display it into our application. Then the agency and the workers and supervisors use the data displayed within SafeMeasures to monitor and plan upcoming work. So I just want to note that SafeMeasures is not a big brother application. It's not an application to overlook workers, but it's to hold people responsible, and to hold workers accountable to their work and the children they're serving. So SafeMeasures provides two looks at data: descriptive and prescriptive. The descriptive data is historic information. SafeMeasures runs over 18 timeframes, and that's monthly. So it allows workers to look back within 18 months because our data is not necessarily for research use, but as I said, it's to hold workers accountable for upcoming work and to provide better outcomes for children and families. So I'm gonna move forward quickly into our website so we can get navigating, because I know we are short on time. So this site, let me log in for everyone so you can see when you enter SafeMeasures. I'm going to use a demo site, as I mentioned. When you log into SafeMeasures, the main menu displays a few sections such as cases, management, referrals, You'll see foster care. This is not exactly how SafeMeasures looks for users within California. This is a general site. As I mentioned, we have over 10 jurisdictions in SafeMeasures across the country. But we're going to use the general data to display how SafeMeasures works. When you enter, you have a main menu, and we want to note the extract date down below, because as I mentioned, the data we receive in SafeMeasures is always a one-day lag due to that ability to gain or to gather the data sent nightly from CWS CMS. SafeMeasures, the most useful tools within SafeMeasures that we find are these My Dashboard, this My Upcoming Work, this My Calendar. We're going to start with My Dashboard. I apologize. We're going to start with My Upcoming Work. The My Upcoming Work is a prescriptive tool in SafeMeasures. This displays work that within a month of upcoming work for workers and supervisors. There is also a My Units Upcoming Work, which will show an entire unit for a supervisor. Right now, we're looking at a My Upcoming Work that it would just show a caseload for a user. Within that caseload, we display names, a case ID, and we tend to have multiple reports that we find most useful for a caseload or a unit that displays icons from red, green, and yellow. It's just like a stoplight where the green check mark will display a caseload that, yes, sure. Oh no.
Your screen. Someone just. Sorry, folks, give me a second.
Yep, great. Sorry about that, and thank you. Minimize. Will I be able to minimize this?
Gotcha.
Okay, great. No problem. Thank you very much. I apologize for those that were not able to see the screen. We'll pull back into the main menu. This is SafeMeasures when you first show up into the main menu. As I mentioned, California displays over 300 reports. And our goal within SafeMeasures is to display transparency and to look for better outcomes within children and families. So with that, we encourage a prescriptive look at data. SafeMeasures is not a data entry system. We just display data. And one of the useful tools within SafeMeasures is this My Upcoming Work. The My Upcoming Work is a prescriptive tool that uses reports that we have built to display upcoming work within a month's time frame. For example, there are monthly contacts. And for monthly contacts, we will display whether your contact has been made, is overdue, or upcoming. You can see that through these yellow, green, and red icons. You hover on top of the icon too. For example, this yellow icon will show that due by the end of the month, and it will, for a better example, maybe a case plan that is due on a specific date, because contacts have to be due within a month. So it will show the end of the month. But for a case plan that's due within 30 days, it would show a specific date as you hover over this icon. And you will also be able to line up and toggle the different reports to see all these monthly contacts that you have overdue. Within SafeMeasures as well as we have histories for specific clients. So with all the data we have, we've built a history for that entire client referral or case. We're displaying a case history here for Brittany. And again, this data is this is a demo site, so this data is we're able to display this data. It's all made up data. But you can see a list of contact history for that entire case for Brittany. You can go further into see service plans, safety assessments, and supervisor reviews. And depending on the case, there'll be more data depending on the history for that child. As well as the My Upcoming Work, we have a My Calendar that is just like the My Upcoming Work, but displayed within a calendar setting because different users and supervisors have different preferences depending on how they want to see what they have due within an upcoming month. So for example, we have this caseload, which is quite a heavy caseload for this user within the month of February. This is printable by this button up here on the right that will allow a worker to print off this entire calendar setting. And as well, we have a to-do list because workers, again, another option to allow users to show what they have upcoming. And as well as toggling the past due will show within that month what they can have a to-do list of what is overdue. Apologize, just one moment as this is loading. All right, we will move forward to KPI. The KPI is another tool that we have that shows aggregate data within SafeMeasures. We find my computer is just a little slow at the moment. As this is loading, I'll just discuss the KPIs. When it appears, it has an aggregate display of data for reports that allows for people such as supervisors or management to see how a certain their workers are doing compared to federal standards, such as for AFCARs or CFSRs. Yeah, let's see if that will, here we go. Okay, as I was discussing, the key performance indicator is a great tool for aggregate data where it can show performance standards in a quick glance. One of SafeMeasures, our biggest goal is for workers to be able to go in and out of SafeMeasures as fast as possible. SafeMeasures has the ability for workers to save time. Where you're spending over 5 hours or so entering data, we don't want workers to have to be administrative staff. We want them to be able to do their jobs and to be able to go out and have those better outcomes for children and families. So we try to do that work for you and for the supervisors, so that you can be able to enter SafeMeasures, have a quick glance, and get out as fast as possible. So this key performance indicator for people that are looking at aggregate data, we have a home button here on the right-hand corner that allows people to make this their home page when they first sign into SafeMeasures. Now I want to get into a report because this will tend to be the most useful tool for people looking at SafeMeasures. Every report within our application has a similar display of 3 graphs, a trend graph, a bar graph, and a pie graph. This exact report is displaying time to investigation for all referrals received in a selected month. You can change, as I mentioned, the timeframes between 18 different timeframes of historical data. We can look from September down to January 2017, but we can also look at the month to date data, and I'm going to pull up a separate time frame for people to see upcoming work. So for example, we have face-to-face all policy contacts report, and this tends to be the most popular report for frontline workers. A report such as this will show preferred location, or the preferred location, and whether a timely contact was made for a worker. And we will show upcoming work, and this is similar to the data that displays within that My Upcoming Work dashboard. You have the ability to subset and filter this data for people that want to. For supervisors, they have the ability to subset through caseloads or within their entire unit. Within SafeMeasures, you also have the ability to dig a little deeper into the data, and you can see data displayed through the age, different age groups. And you could select age groups from 8 years old and younger or 8 years old, 8 years old all the way down to just under 1, if you're specifically interested in that type of data. And you have the ability to subset more than just on age, but you can also subset on gender as well if you only want to see males from age 8 and under and the contacts made for those children. Now for SafeMeasures as well, beyond our just the graph display within a report, we also show a comparison. This comparison page allows people to take that aggregate data, but to also drill into specific workers. So because this is just demo data, we're going to dive into Badger County. And from this aggregate data, you can drill into Badger County and look into specific offices and work your way into a unit all the way down to specific caseloads. And you can see this data displayed in this cross graph. So you will also have that ability to switch from just specific caseloads to seeing all caseloads for state access. You can drill within this specific caseload even further and pull up all the referrals within that. So SafeMeasures has that ability to look at data, the data from a large scope and also drill down quickly into a specific referral in a case. Now, as well in SafeMeasures, we have recently added a disaster maps, which within California, this has been quite a hot topic with disasters such as the recent wildfires that we had here. And my map here is displaying Cork, Ireland, but typically this would display the state of California. And you have that ability to look at 2 different disaster maps, one by geography and one by assignment. So you'll be able to look at 2 maps, one that will just show the county of California and all the children that are assigned within that county. But you will also be able to see children that are assigned within, or assigned such as in Kalamazoo, Michigan, but they're assigned to your, they're assigned to your county, but they live out in Kalamazoo, Michigan. They will still show up on that map if there's any sort of disaster that happens in the Midwest. But within this specific map, if we're looking at a wildfire, which will be displayed by this glob on the map, this wildfires are typically, they show up on our map every 15 minutes. We have satellite data that is reporting to our maps and updating every 15 minutes. And we also receive data from firefighters that are actually on the ground, hence the odd shape of the what the fire would typically look like. Now I'm going to uncheck some of these filters here beyond just fires. I mean, we show earthquakes and other weather alerts such as flood warnings. And I'm just going to filter out some of that so that you can see just this active fire. Now all the dots you see on this map are the children, the clients that are assigned or that are living within whether it's specific facilities, or you can see in the top right corner here, we have in-home children, group home children, foster families, and other. So we can look at an in-home child, specifically near this fire, and we can click on that child and receive information immediately. And you also have the ability to draw a radius near that fire. Let me just exit out of this. You have that, draw a radius near that fire to near 400 yards or as big as you'd like, to gain a full list of every child. That did not pop up. For every child that is within, the full list will end up looking, we'll pull up a new window of a full list. I may have to sign back in, I apologize. I had too many windows open. Okay, here we are. The wildfire now appears as the red, and you will be able to draw a radius that will pull up a new window. Oh, I am so sorry. I had logged in on too many windows. Okay, that does not commonly happen. I just happened to be logged into too many windows. I apologize. But you will be able to draw a radius that will pull up a list of the children that are within that, near that wildfire. But we also allow, we have alerts within SafeMeasures that you can sign up for. And if a child is within a radius of 10 miles from an extreme weather incident or wildfire, you will receive an email that will have a number of the children in your caseload or your unit that are near that fire, and you will quickly be able to access SafeMeasures and receive a list of those children that will have preferred language, location, their address, phone numbers, contact information that will allow quick access to those children, so you can contact them and make sure they're okay in time of an emergency. I'm going to show a quick display of how that works. You enter SafeMeasures on your My Dashboard. You will have an alert section on the right-hand corner. This dashboard can just display favorites and your alerts and recently viewed pages. If you've viewed a report that you have forgotten the name of or can't quite remember where it was. I apologize for the technical difficulties. Am I able to? Okay. Bear with me as I'm pulling up this report. And as we're having this load, I want people to know that if you do have any questions or concerns following this report, you can contact me within support@safemeasures.org, and I'm going to display that email address for people once I get signed in here. And I'll display that at the end for everyone so that we have a contact us button here. This will be the best way to contact me for questions or concerns following this presentation. So back into our disaster map. To access the alert page, we enter the My Dashboard that will allow people to subscribe to alerts. We have many offerings of alerts for recently received referrals, perpetrator referrals, referred contacts or referral contacts. But the one we tend to recommend the most is this emergency management. And you can sign up for that, and you'll, for example, receive flood warnings. And what you will display in your email that you will receive, you can set it up whether to receive daily, weekly, monthly, or even no email at all. You will receive what is displayed here on the right side, this number that says there's a flood warning with 21 people. You will click that, the highlighted blue button, and it will display a full list that I can't display at the moment because it's personal identifying information. Now, within these reports, if you are subsetting, or if we're looking at time to investigation for all referrals, if you are interested in specifics such as, let me get a different report. If we're going to look at contacts, we want to subset our face-to-face contacts to look specifically at females once this loads. If we're looking at in the December of 2018, if we want to look at specifically at female contacts, this is something that you can save so that you don't have to subset every time you enter this report by adding a favorite. And that is just by pressing this plus button next to the favorites. You can name this favorite anything you prefer, such as face-to-face contacts, gender, female. Once you have that favorite saved, you'll be able to go to your dashboard. And I tend to recommend that most people save this dashboard as their homepage because you'll be able to have all report favorites saved within this dashboard. And typically you will have an alert, your alerts as well here in the right-hand corner. And from this, my dashboard, you can enter that report quickly just by clicking the title of that favorite. And within SafeMeasures, for any concerns or questions or issues that you run across while working in this certain report, we always offer a tour button. SafeMeasures is intuitive. It's an intuitive application that can be best learned by simply clicking around and using the tools that we offer in there. And so you have this ability to click around using a tour guide that is specific within each dashboard that you're on in SafeMeasures. And this is something, if you have the opportunity to access SafeMeasures after this presentation, it's a it will give you a chance to rediscover some of the concepts and tools that I've not been able to display. Now, on a report such as the face-to-face contacts, within these different graphs, someone as well has the ability to click specifically into each graph. If you want to see specifically the contacts made, you can get a list of all contacts subsetted to all those contacts made. But one that people find more important are those contacts that are not found. And we want to know why are those contacts not made or not found. So you can have a list of every contact not made that displays the supervisor, staff member, the client information, as well as when the last contact was made. And this is printable, and it is, I can move this little thing. This data is printable, but it can also be, not on the demo site, but within the live site, you can export this data into Excel. So you can, I guess, I apologize, we can use the Excel button next to the print button here to create a little document that will have all the data opened up into an Excel spreadsheet, already formulated as seen within our application. I will not pull up the spreadsheet. Again, within reports, we always have this contact us button. I am the lead business analyst or policy and reporting analyst for SafeMeasures in California. Any question that, or any email that is sent to this contact us button, I answer personally. So we answer within 24 hours, and we prefer to have good relationships with our workers and supervisors that are using our application. Now, on these reports, you can toggle between a compliance view, because many of the concerns people have are whether I'm compliant. Is my contact compliant? I get many emails that people ask, why is my contact not compliant? So when people typically look into this compliant view, and supervisors find this data more useful because they want to know what are their percentages. So this will be able to display between both percentage and just by number as well. Or sorry, just by number, a numeric view and a percentage view. You can toggle back and forth between compliance and numbers. And within this comparison view below the graph, in California has the ability to look at data across, everyone has access to look at data across the entire state. So you can, you have that ability to see how your specific county is doing compared to other counties. That is that ability to see aggregate data as well. And then you can, as you know, for example, we're using Badger, Eagle, Hokie, Tiger, and Wildcat, and Wolverine. But within California, these are the entire California counties that you would see here. And you would see how people are doing across the entire state. And you can always toggle, again, between compliance. Again, there are now within reports, we also have a crosstab view. This crosstab view is just like using subsets, but it just allows you to see that data as a whole rather than subsetting specifically just to one gender or an age or any other subset that may be displayed. Along with the disaster maps, we also do include a map that will show the location of children in placement, so that you have that ability to see where they are within a location. If you need to have a specific radius that you draw, this will act just as the disaster map does, but is more simplified with just context. And each report has a help tab that will display what the report is showing, who's included within the report, what the cohort is, and will display what specific, what defines those contacts, or what defines a qualified contact. Because, for example, we receive many questions from workers that say, hey, I've done my contact, but it's showing out of compliance within SafeMeasures. We tend to keep our help updated as much as possible. That allows people to see why, what makes a contact and what makes it qualified. And we work closely with the state and the policies that are put out to update our measures constantly so that they are up to date. And we also have the ability for people to see usage of reports. So that allows, I am currently the #1 user. You can at the top, but this allows for people to know how is SafeMeasures being accessed. Management can see what reports are workers and users, or workers and clients, or workers and supervisors, who's using what reports and how are people viewing the data. And it will show you who the users are and what specific page is it that they're looking at. So this gives people an idea of how their workers are accessing data. What specific, are people looking more at face-to-face contacts, or why are they not looking at other reports, and how is that affecting their work? What other reports can be promoted to encourage more usage? And that can be tied back to people being able to view these scorecards, these larger views of aggregate data to see how are people, where are people standing compared to state standards or federal standards, as well as beyond those scorecards, we tend to offer monthly measures, which are just quick glances. Again, as I mentioned, SafeMeasures' goal is for people to get in and out as fast as possible, not because we don't want you on our application, but because we want to save workers time. As I mentioned, workers don't need to be administrators. They need to be seeing their children and families. So, for example, this monthly measures will just show a quick glance at face-to-face contacts. What are the percentages? What are here we see 89% of contacts are made. It's just that quick glance view. Because I did not quite take questions while I was talking, I was hoping to save some time here at the end to answer any kind of questions or concerns people do have. Has there been anything online? Or, if not at the moment, this is a great time for people that are on the webinar to either type in a question, or if anyone in the audience has any questions or concerns regarding how SafeMeasures is used, how we use data. Yeah. Oh, we'll have people speak into a mic.
Yeah, I'm just curious, are these all the different measures that we can track against? So if we're examining a specific county and we want to compare it to the statewide average, what things can we have data for?
Like what kind of reports?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that would be a great, let me go in, I can pull up our live site. I can't dive into data, but I can show you, we have over 300 reports, close to 400 reports within SafeMeasures. And that's the monthly measures dashboard. I displayed both a monthly measure dashboard here, and I also displayed this key performance indicator. The key performance indicators tends to be used for mostly state standard, for things that are statewide, such as AFCARS reports and CFSR reporting. But then we show these monthly measures as well. That tends to be just for any kind of report, a county or the state makes a request to ask us to build such a monthly measures with specific reports. So we can really be quite flexible with what we display. To give you kind of a grasp of what the main menu looks like, here's a view. Most workers tend to use the frontline staff. People tend to prefer these open case reports that show time open, how long has a case been open, or these face-to-face contacts, and also these children in placement. And we can typically put almost any report into that view where you can see quick percentages compared to standards. Yeah.
I mean, just to clarify, is it against statewide standards, or can you compare it to other counties?
Yeah, we can compare to, not quite within that, within this view of a KPI, we won't be able to compare in this specific dashboard standards between counties, but that's why we offer that comparison view within specific reports that allow you to see between Badger and Wolverine County, or LA and Sacramento. So I hope that answers your question. Yeah, sure. Thank you, Julian.
So for those in the room who aren't familiar with child welfare, there's typically two agencies, child welfare departments and probation agencies that supervise these children.
Yes.
So I noticed you do have a probation menu. Are probation youth included in all of these measures? I know you can drill down and see some probation placement information, but are they included in this as well?
Yes, we do have a limited, for people with access, we have different websites between probation users, and then we have a website strictly for CWS. The probation site has kind of a larger menu of reports that are specific to children in probation only. The majority of these reports limit out probation, but for our probation dashboard that we have, they're included. And that will show, again, like face-to-face contacts, and just within the main website that is separate from our probation site, it's a limited dashboard. But those that work within probation or facilities have their own access to a separate website with more reports. Does that answer your question? Great. Are there any questions? Yeah.
All right, my name is David. I'm from the Adult and Senior Care Program.
Hi.
I have a question in regards to your disaster map. You had stated that you get automatic updates every 15 minutes. For example, in an event of a fire emergency or a flood warning or flood watch. So that data, what's the source that it comes from? Does it come from Cal OES or?
Yeah, we have a separate contract with a GPS system that gathers satellite data. I don't quite have the name of that system on hand.
Okay.
But that is a system that even picks up, for example, if there's a chance of a fire that a satellite picks up, heat within an area, it will send out a notification that it might say something as potential fire. But if it is a true active fire, you will also get an alert, and it will note active wildfire.
Okay, because we actually use the disaster map on SafeMeasures to evacuate our facilities, residents, but we have to manually actually input, or pinpoint that evacuation zone. But if you're saying if it can actually do that automatically, that would really help us. Because what we have to run off of is that, the California Office of Emergency Services to give us the location. And then we manually go in there and then, of course, find that evacuation zone.
Yeah, so are you noting the fact that the alerts or
Yeah,
just
actually,
go ahead.
Yeah, no, once we get the, notice from Cal OES, we go in there manually and then pinpoint it ourselves where that location is.
Okay, so you have not yet used the disaster maps before, or you have used them and you've gone in there manually?
Just gone in there manually.
Yeah, just
That's
gone in there
right.
manually. Yeah, you should have that ability to receive those alerts to see the specific children. Depending, I mean, it depends on whether you have a caseload or not, or a unit. But you can still draw that radius to get a specific list. Does that, I'm not sure if there's exactly a question or.
Yeah, no, that helps.
If what I displayed gave you some future use to simplify that process.
It is. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Is there anyone else that might have some questions or curious if or want to see something again that we've not noted yet? Yeah. Yes. Hi.
I'm just curious about the application, the data processing application behind your website, or is just the website itself? Like Tableau is one of the softwares that a lot of people use to display in a map. I'm just curious about what's behind your.
What is behind our
the data display?
Yeah, how we are. If I can just clarify the question, you're just curious of how we put something such as the map together, or how we analyze this data. Is that
Like, is there a application?
Oh, is there like
Software.
a software, something such as like on your on an iPhone or something, like an application? Or? Oh, so yeah, no, it is strictly accessed through an internet browser. Is that? I'm just not sure if I'm quite understanding your question. Okay, yeah, this is the platform that you would use to access SafeMeasures. So there's not like a separate app. You would access it through an internet browser.
Like, in other words, your institute is using the website, the web browser.
Correct. I mean, we have coding and data analysts that are putting together, that we put together code to analyze the data, and then we use HTML and certain coding to put together this website display. But we don't have a separate application. That answers your question. I hope so. Okay. We're all set on the web. Okay. There are not any other questions. I can wrap up here, but I just want people to know that if you do, I just want to display this. People do have questions. I'm going to display a web or our email address. Those go all the way to, okay, we were all the way back at the beginning. Whoops. I'm sorry. I just want this to get to the end. There we are. For those that do have questions, please email support@safemeasures.org. I will be the one to answer your questions, and we get back to people within 24 hours. Whether you have a question just about how things work, or if you have recommendations, or you want to see certain reports, or things that you're maybe confused on, please email at that address. I'm flagged. I will be the one to answer those specific questions. Again, my name is Ryan Kielczewski. So thank you for everyone that watched and came in for your lunchtime. I appreciate it.